Hey, fifth grade, how's it going? Miss Culpepper here. I am at my house. So this is going to be part one of your seesaw activity for this week, okay? I'm going to go ahead and do an example problem based on GEMDAS and PEMDAS for you guys first. Then I'm going to give you guys something to try on your own, and then that's going to require you to pause this video, do your math, and then unpause it again, and then watch me as I solve out that second problem, okay? Kind of like having our problem of the day, only, I'm over video. So let's go ahead and get started. Up here on the board, I have my practice problem that I'm going to do for you guys. 12 minus 8 divided by 4 plus brackets, starting parentheses, 6 plus 2, end the parentheses, minus 3, ending brackets, 3. So let's go ahead and get started with this. So the first thing I need to do is think about order of operations here, okay? And the very, very first thing I always do in my order of operations are my grouping symbols, okay? And that's your brackets and your parentheses. So we've got both in this problem. I've got the brackets and then I've got my parentheses here. So we always do what's inward first and then work our way out. So the first thing I'm going to start with is going to be that 6 plus 2 inside the parentheses. That's my first step. After that, there's nothing else in the parentheses, but there is something in those brackets. So that's what I'm going to have to do next. So that's going to be my step 2. Okay. If I look and keep going, we know that after our grouping symbols, the next thing should be the M and the D. That is multiplication and division. Okay, so we'll have to multiply and divide. Remember, multiplication and division, there's really not a way to tell which one is more powerful. They're equally as powerful. So the way that we determine which one goes first is whichever one pops up first. So if I look, division pops up first, so that's going to be my next step, step 3, okay? Miss Culpepper said that there was a multiplication here, but I don't see one. If y'all remember, anytime you have a number directly next to like a parentheses or a bracket or a letter, that means to multiply. It's kind of like a hidden symbol in here. It means that you're multiplying that 3. Don't forget that. That's going to help you guys out later on. So division popped up first, but there is still a multiplication. So that's going to be my 4th step. Okay. All that I'm left with now is adding and subtracting. So again, how do we figure out how to add and subtract which one goes first? You always sit back and look at which one pops up first. So in this case, the subtraction. So that's going to be step 5. And then my last step, 6, is going to be that adding. Okay. Now all I have to do is do my math. So go over to step 1. Step 1 asks me to do 6 plus 2. That should get you 8. And I'm going to bring everything else down with it. Okay. I'm going to keep that times in there too, just to make sure I don't forget it later on. All right. So then I'm going to keep going. Okay. Sorry about the light and the glare. That's hopefully not too bad for you guys. All right, so then now I'm looking at my second step. That second step, I told myself I was going to do that minus 3 that's still inside the brackets. So step 2, subtracting. 8 minus 3. Hopefully you guys are good and y'all know that that is 5. And so again, I'm going to bring everything down with my 5. So that's going to be the times 3 that's right here, and the plus, and the 4, and the divided, and the 8, and the minus 12. Okay, switch my colors up again. All right, so my third step, I told myself, was the 3. If you remember, division pops up before the multiplication, so that's the one I'm going to do first. Okay, 8 divided by 4, well, 4 fits into 8 how many times? 2. So my answer is 2 for that one. So again, bringing everything else down. Okay, I already took care of the 8 divided by 4, so that just leaves the 12. Subtract. Okay, here we go again. Next step is going to be, I divided, so now it's that multiplying here. Okay, 5 times 3 gets me 15. Ooh, this is getting nice and small now. I like it when it's small like that. So the next step, remember, we sat back and we said that we were subtracting before we add because the subtraction comes up first in this problem. So we'll do 12 minus 2. 12 minus 2 should get you 10. Bring everything down with it. And now that seems like a pretty easy problem to handle. So the last step that I have is to add, and that's going to be 10 plus 15 should get you 25 as your final answer. Well done, you guys. Hopefully that was good for you guys. Now it's your turn to try out a practice problem on your own. Okay, so here is your practice problem. Mr. Smith, Miss Alexander, and I would like you guys to solve this problem. 984, beginning brackets, first parentheses, is going to be 7 times 8 plus 4, end parentheses, so all 3 of those numbers are going to be inside the parentheses there. I'll move the board again so it's not so glare right now. And then we have divided by 10 minus 6, end the brackets. Okay, so this is going to be y'all's practice problem for the day. So 984 brackets, parentheses, 7 times 8 plus 4 minus 10 minus 6. I'm sorry, divided by 10 minus 6. Okay, so go ahead, pause the video now. Okay, pause the video, try this on your own, and then go ahead and I will solve it after you're done. Okay guys, so now it is time for me to go through and solve this problem with you. Let's see how y'all did. Okay, so if we're following GEMDAS here the way that we're supposed to, we're going to sit back and we're going to have all of our different steps that we list out first. Okay, so if we look again, we do what's in the grouping symbols first. Okay, and again we start with those parentheses. So here's the problem though. Inside the parentheses, I've got 2 operations. We've got a multiply and an add. Multiplying is more powerful than addition because multiplication, you are repeatedly adding a number several times. Whereas addition, you're just adding one time. So we're always going to do that multiplication first. So we'll do that first, the 7 times 8. The second step is going to be that addition because still inside the parentheses, so it still gets to go first. Okay? And then we have to look inside the brackets. What goes next? In this case, the next thing would be the division. Again, division and subtraction, which one's more powerful? It's going to be the 10, the dividing by 10. Division is more powerful than division for the same reason that multiplication is more powerful than addition. When you multiply, it's repeatedly adding, but when you divide, it's repeatedly subtracting. So repeated subtraction is more powerful than just subtracting once. So we'll go ahead and say this is step 3, and this is step 4. Okay? And then the very last thing we have to do is whatever's on the outside of the brackets, which we have 984, but there's nothing there. Remember, when there's nothing in between a number and those brackets or parentheses, that means that you're multiplying. It's that hidden symbol that's there. So I know that I'm going to multiply that 984 at the end. So that's going to be my 5th step. Okay? So let's go ahead and get started with our math. Okay, sorry about the glare on the board, guys. It's not staying straight up and down like I was hoping it would. All right, so step 1, 7 times 8. That 7 times 8 is going to get you 56. Knowing your math facts helps you out on these big time, guys. Bring everything else down with it. So that plus 4 divided by 10 minus 6. There's the brackets because I'm not done with those yet. And then the 984 multiplication there. Okay? Not too bad so far. So next step, we said we were going to add that 4 inside the parentheses. Well, if I add 4 to 56, that should get me 60. Okay? Bring everything else down with it. Divide by the 10, subtract the 6. That's all still inside the brackets. There we go. All right, hopefully this is what you did too. Let's see how y'all did with this. So the next step, if we remember, we said it's that division because dividing is more powerful than the subtraction. So what's 60 divided by 10? Well, 10 fits into 60. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. 6 times. So we're going to do 6 here. Bring everything else down with it. Well, that looks interesting. What's 6 minus 6, you guys? 0. Okay, so 6 minus 6 is 0, and then I'm multiplying 984 times 0. Anything times 0 is just 0. So your final answer should have been 0. Awesome job, you guys. Hopefully this helped to kind of refresh y'all's memories. So now it's time to move on to part 2, where you have to click the add response button and solve some problems on your own, okay? When you're done, you can submit, or if you have questions, feel free to send us a comment on the assignment and we can go ahead and help you guys out with that, okay? Hope this helped. Bye, you guys.